So we've talked about VTVMs, VOMs, signal generators, scope. Lanier mentioned she doesn't know how to use a scope. I mean, if in future presentations, I'd be glad to. I have a scope. I'd be glad to bring in like a little test bench, and if anybody wants it.
You know a good place to test your scope? WWV.
Really? How do you do that?
We'll just connect into the speaker because
Oh.
it will.
Oh.
It has all the
Yeah.
calibrations for your oscilloscope in there when it does the tones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they've changed it, I used to calibrate my stuff on WWV. Now within that hour, there's a diagram that tells you what's coming up and when it's going to
Okay.
be there. Unless they've changed it. Years ago, that's how I used to do all my calibration.
As I get further down the road on this thing here, and I get to the point of where I actually start testing and stuff like that, I can actually bring in I was taught how to use a scope to actually test, receivers, inject a signal on one end, read it on the other end. That's why I have this little thing here. And then there's also some techniques of whether you start at the amplifier end and work your way back to the RF, or go RF through the IF into the AF.
WWV is very,
We can all talk about that.
People don't realize what's there.
Let's see here.
We did that in the Navy on the ships because we would get WWV.
Yeah.
We would be able to calibrate our equipment on that.
Like I say, surprisingly enough, this huge boat anchor and yet that Radifont came off of ships. That's where you're finding all this. And Marshall, didn't you buy a bunch of keys, Morse keys from some kind of a marine salvage, or?
Oh, yeah. About 40 of them that were taken off ships that were broken up in Alang, India. But in Alang, they've got all these family businesses that specialize in one type of equipment that is stripped off of the ships. And you'll find a communications family and a radar family.
Wow.
Yeah, we used to use
Yeah.
Loran. Okay, it's all
Yeah.
gone. It's all GPS now.
Yep.
We wouldn't have to
So this guy
check
had, I
stations.
think, 40 keys that came off 40 different ships. So each one has a story. But they included a couple of Marconis, a surprising number of high mounts, and even a couple of Speedex keys that have been to sea.
So parts, eBay. I've got good luck on eBay. The trouble is on eBay is like, when I was homebrewing little small stuff and you needed like a 2N222 transistor, you can get them on eBay. You gotta buy them on lots of like 100 or or 50 or something like that. But
Not
If
lately.
you go on Craigslist, a lot of times it's nationwide,
really,
and a lot of people have garage sales, like their parent dies or something. They don't know what the stuff is, and they put it up locally, and you can get it for the shipping also, and pay for the shipping. I've come across a lot of neat stuff that I couldn't even find on eBay, and if it was on eBay, it would be ridiculous.
yeah. eBay has gotten a little
But
line.
Craigslist is, you can go city to city to city nationwide
Okay.
and do the search in each city that you want to check and pay for your shipping, get hold of the people, and I've come across some super deals.
Oh, good to know.